Today is 3/16/2026. This is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on Logic Before Authority. And we're going live. Live on 14 platforms around the world. Let's get ready to go. All right, let's do it. Going live now.
Got one that can see.
Logic Before Authority.
Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on Logic Before Authority. Welcome. Today we're going to try to see some more things that are possibly closer to the truth, because we know they're not going to tell us the truth. Neither side are going to tell us the truth. What they're going to do is show us a show. So without taking anything they're saying as the truth of what's going on, we're going to take a look at a few things today and see if we can figure a few things out. One thing we're going to look at, all the most recent earthquakes that have taken place in Iran. And this is our list here, okay? We're going to do an animation of it and see what we can discern from that. And we're also going to look at these earthquakes on a table. And the stats on it. It's interesting when you look at it that way. And we're also going to do an update on the Strait of Hormuz, right? Any boats going through the invisible line here? Do you see any going through? There's none here. There's a bunch over here and a bunch over here. Looks like it's still shut down. But we're going to look at that. We're also going to look at the flight activity again a little bit. Just keep paying attention to it and see if we see anything that's discernible. One big thing that I can see that's discernible is all these reloading aircrafts that are bringing in whatever they're bringing in, okay? Because this is not commercial. None of this is commercial, or at least I don't believe it is. But they're bringing in supplies, and they're bringing it in this area here, like, basically Saudi Arabia for the most part. They're bringing it in, supplying for the war, okay? And we're also going to, even more importantly, we're going to look at, like we mentioned, most latest earthquakes as well, because we've had two more earthquakes in Iran in the last couple of days, two new ones since the last time I was live. And guess what size they are? They are 4.3 and 4.4. That, according to all the research I've done, is just above the size that a nuclear weapon will cause. The size of the earthquake that will be recorded by seismographs around the world. Okay, especially ones that are close to the activity. Okay, but we're going to look at that. A couple of different ones, both of those new earthquakes we're going to look at. And of course, we've compared the signatures of what an earthquake looks like versus a nuclear test. We might touch back on that a little bit again and seeing if we can understand even better what is possibly going on there. Okay. Now, if we, even more importantly, what we're going to do is we're going to look at, off of military.com, okay, look at the test of one of the bombs they claim they've been using, the MOAB, or should we call it the Moabites? But a MOAB bomb, okay, explosion. They call it the mother of all bombs. And we're going to look at the explosion of that. We're going to do that here in just a moment because we're going to do this part first. And then we're going to compare it to a 1 kiloton explosion. Okay. And we're going to also look at it in color. Okay. So we can see what some of this stuff looks like. And I do realize that some of us have seen some of this stuff in the past, but in order for us to be able to discern what type of weapons are being used, because they're telling us from both sides, nobody's mentioned the fact that any kind of a nuclear weapon has been used. They hinting around and doing this and that, but they've been doing that my whole life, right? And your whole life. But what is the actual truth? Would there be any advantage to telling us that they actually are using what they like to call tactical nuclear weapons? Would there be any advantage to telling us? I mean, think about who they believe we are, okay? I don't think that either side would benefit from admitting that these weapons are being used. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at this one here. I don't think there's any audio actually, but if there is, we will, it'll play. I have the color version of this as well. So this is a MOAB. And we're going to analyze it a little bit here because I want you to recognize a few things. Okay. Let's stop it there. Let's come back to right as it hits. Okay. All right. Now, when I hit play again, I want you to notice if you see any flash, like a big flash of light. Okay. Notice if you see a big flash of light at the time, the exact moment, milliseconds of the impact. Does the MOAB have a big flash that will light up the screen? A very, very tiny one, right? A little flash. See? That's pretty much what we're talking about right there. A little bit of a flash. That's probably about the best frame right there. Okay. All right. So let's watch it back one more time. So we got a little relatively smaller flash. Now look for the mushroom cloud. Yes, we will get something kind of similar. But do you see a big ball of fire? So the big ball of plasma is not really visible after the initial explosion. Now, I know that some of you are already thinking about some of the explosions that you've seen in different videos and things like that have come out, not just during this conflict, but during some other things too, right? So let's look at, and we'll look at the color version here in just a moment too. Let's look at this example here. These guys got to play an ad for their military website. Okay, here we go. Okay, blink and miss it, right? See the difference in the flash? This is supposedly a 1 kiloton. Much brighter and takes over the screen. Basically overloads the camera for just a few milliseconds there. Trying to back it up slightly. There you go. So there's your difference, right? A lot brighter. Okay, let's let it play. Now, already, because this is 1 kiloton, already you can see a difference, a lot of difference. But you can also see that some of the explosions that we've been seeing in the Middle East and other places are much larger than this. A much larger fireball. What's happening, Danny from Germany? Good to see y'all guys overseas paying attention to, because what's going on affects us all, right? So that is supposedly 1 kiloton. Now, we've all been seeing things that look quite more impressive than even that nuclear weapon. Now, this one was the largest bomb supposedly they have that's not nuclear. Okay, and I know there's arguments about whether nuclear is what they say it is, and it's not what they say it is exactly. But from an explosive standpoint, it is what they say it is. It just is not just the radiation about all that. There's a lot of propaganda mixed into there. Let's take a look at this one here. Let's back it back up, go full screen. So this is a obviously larger one. We've seen things close to that, haven't we? Or are we going to continue to deny our eyes? I don't know if we've seen one quite that big. Of course, they are filming this at nighttime, so you can see the fire, the plasma quite a bit better in that situation there. What we're seeing when we're watching these things is we're seeing something in between the 1 kiloton and whatever we're looking at here is. Okay. Let's see, it says we've got some severe thunderstorms coming up, and you're doing tornado warnings and all kind of stuff like that here locally where I'm at. But I don't think there's any big storms real close to us yet. That's why I'm doing the live now. I don't see where they say exactly how big that is, but it's bigger. Now, a 1 kiloton produces it's equal to a 4.0, 4.1 earthquake. Okay. Now, what do we have here? Well, we have a 4.4 in this area of Iran here. And this is a 4.3 in Iran. And if you look at the last, let's go 7 days. Excuse me. Yeah, go on down here. I know it'll show up at some point. Okay. So here are all the earthquakes on the left. They're 4.4, 4.3, 4.1, 4.0, 4.4. That one's in Turkey, so it don't count. That one is a 4.6, 4.2, 4.0, 4.1, 4.4. That one's in Turkey, so it don't count. 4.3, 4.4, 4.2. That is the exact area of size that is a signature of a nuclear weapon. And I try to look also at the seismographs as well and try to see what we can discern. This one is not real close, but you can see, and I've been studying and reading all about all kinds of things that I wish I didn't have to read and understand, like the difference between a P wave and an S wave. P wave just simply means primary shock wave that shows up on a seismograph. S wave means secondary. Okay, the P wave moves the quickest, and then the secondary is slower and shows up on the seismograph later. A nuclear explosion will have a very large P wave and not so big S wave. Like right here, you can see, which is kind of hard to see, especially if you haven't been studying all the different ones. This has a very large P wave. Okay, because the P wave is noticeable, but it's not, for earthquakes, it's noticeable, but it's not as large as the S wave. Normally, the S wave is way larger than the P wave when you're talking earthquakes. And that's not what we're seeing here. Let's see if we can find possibly a few other areas that are closer that might show up. This one should be closer, but they're not putting out the data. Why wouldn't they let us see the data? Don't their equipment work? Here's another one that would be close. No data. Let's try Turkey. It's not too far away. Okay. We've got a significant P wave and an S wave that's not as large as it should be if it was an earthquake. We should see a good bit more, the squibbling up and down. But it's not really much larger than even the P wave, according to everything I've researched, and I'm not an expert, trust me, okay? But according to what I've researched, that looks suspicious, okay? Now let's go back and let's look at this other one. This is the second earthquake. And here we have the P wave again. As you can see, the P wave, the tallest spike on it right in here, is as large as the S wave. That is not supposed to be like that. The S wave is supposed to be a lot larger amplitude, you might say, on the chart. Now, I have no way of proving that they're secretively using smaller nuclear weapons. But we're waiting on them to tell us, right? We're waiting on them to tell us that they've been using them all along. Or that, one just went off and it's been the first one since 1940 or 19, whatever it was, right? Or would they just lie and be doing it anyways? Because, see, the war that's going on, if you don't understand yet, it's not against some leadership of the country. It's not against the leaders. The war is against the people. All of the countries in the world have already had regime changes, and people have been put in place by the controllers above the United States that even control the United States. It's already all been done. There's no one last standing except the people have not been notified in many of these places. Just like in the United States, we still think, or the majority of the population still thinks, that we have a government that will tell us the truth about something. Yet in the back of their minds, they know they ain't nothing but liars, but they still want to think that they'll tell us. They'll tell us. The war is not against some hidden leadership that they claim that they've killed this one and that one and all this. You're watching a show, and they're making it out like it's one version of the show, but the true version is the war is on the people. I hope you understand that. I hope you understand. Let's look a little bit more at a couple of other things. Let's check on the shipping situation. It's pretty obvious already when I get my updates every day when I get on here and look, is that there's not a lot going on. We've got a ship that's kind of close here, though. Looks like it's wanting to try to cross. Let's track that and see. Planning on going across. Let's zoom in and see what it looks like it's doing, because you've got this invisible line out here. And yeah, we're going to look at that other one there in a second too. So this is so its destination is Iraq. Okay, well, it would make sense that in a normal world that they wouldn't blow up their own tanker, right? Or at least, yeah, the destination is Iraq. Huh. The last port was in Iraq also. What? So supposedly it's going down here. Looks like Kuwait to me. Not Iraq. Yeah, that's Kuwait where it says it's going. But on here it says it's going to Iraq. Oh, excuse me, Iraq. Duh. I keep getting those words mixed up, don't I? Iran and Iraq. I wonder how many times I've already done it. I'm sorry. It is what it is. So, okay, they're going to Kuwait or Iraq. Okay, delivering the oil there. So with that being the case, this ship should not be allowed to cross right here. Should not be allowed to cross, right? Now, will it turn around? I don't know. Let's zoom in on it and see what it's doing most recently zoomed in, if we can tell. Okay, looks like it's still moving forward. It says it's doing 16 miles an hour and underway. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see if that one actually crosses or not, because I haven't seen any cross. Maybe there have been, because I can't look 24 hours a day. And I don't know what this little box right here is, but he looks like he's heading into it, whatever this little thing here is. Let's look at this other one and see what he's doing. No photo. Destination not available. Click on tracks. Okay, that one came out from over here in Kasab and is headed straight across. But it doesn't say a destination as to where it's going. It's 12 miles per hour. You know, that's what we're doing, is looking to see, well, what we can see. Every time I've seen when a ship like this oil tanker will come up here, he'll turn around. It's happened to pretty much everything so far for a long time. And they're not lining up quite like they were. Let's look at the other mapping system and see if we can see anything different. There's that ship again. Okay. Let's look at the past track according to this. Yep, come from the same spot down here. Okay. And let's see what else it says about it. Not much. But it's the only ship that's out here that looks like it's trying to go through, right? I'm going to try to keep an eye on it and see if it does cross or not, because that would be it'd be worthy to note, right? I think so. So, all right. So I just mainly wanted to give y'all guys, the main thing with this video is looking at the difference in these MOAB weapons and nuclear weapons. The MOABs, you know, if you're at the location it's dropped, you're dead. But it's not comparable to what appears, because that's all we got is what appears, right? It doesn't appear to be anything close to even a 1 megaton or kiloton nuclear weapon. So I'll be keeping an eye on it. I just wanted to do a quick video for y'all guys today. Doing some other stuff still on the side, trying to keep things afloat. The website is still up. I was able to keep it up, and we will be trying to do a supernatural show on Friday, bring everybody back together. So, and at the same time, those guys are continuing to roll, continuing to do a lot of shows. Children of the Most High, Shannon's channel, make sure to check that out. And of course, the Roxy Files, Roxy's channel. And they're having quite a few guests come on, a lot of really good conversations. So I'd encourage y'all guys to support their work as well in trying to get the truth out about things. Okay. With that being said, again, just a quick update, and I'm going to let you go. I love you, and thank y'all guys for the few of you who have sent a little support for me. I greatly appreciate it. It makes a difference, trust me, whether I'm able to take time and do some research and do this, or whether I have to stay focused on just trying to make a buck, you know? All right. I love you. Talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye for now.
I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.